time to look at the switch and make sure it's running during a meeting. Average number of board meetings, average number of hours, at the most you're talking $2,000 a year. That is doable, realistically speaking, at some point. The advantage of having a live audio stream is that people can listen to what's happening. I don't think they need to see people as much as being able to listen to it anywhere on the internet. That would certainly give the news media, if Mr. Kadovich has to run back to the office to meet a deadline, wants to pop it on the computer and hear what's happening on an item, if the meeting is still in progress, he can do that. WGTD, if they want to listen to something and put it on the air the next morning, they can certainly do that. WLIP dumped its news department a number of years ago. And if you ever want to know what's in the Kenosha News, just listen to WLIP at 7 o'clock, because all they do is read the paper on the air. But realistically speaking, that is an alternative that is affordable and doable, and I think it's a good idea, and I recommend it for serious consideration. But I do believe that there is a significant cost associated with telecasting the meeting, but the primary issue of that would be acquisition and the line. Once that's in, the cost would drop to, it would take a couple of camera operators and somebody on the switch in the console during the meeting. But it's not free. To do it right would cost some money. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak under citizen comments? Yes, sir.
Alex Tianabach, 8757 Lakeshore Drive. A lot of the things that I aim to say have been said already, but as you can see, it's technically feasible. I'm not a broadcast engineer, but I'm a chemical engineer, and efficiency is generally what we look for. And the 175,000, frankly, I was blown away when I heard that number. And maybe that's to rewire, this entire room and put a broadcast quality sound system in here. We talked about that in the past. I'm not denying that probably should be done, but video acquisition and audio public PA in a room like this are entirely different things. I think they can be separate. It's a cheap process. Old camcorder, I can make you a DVD every meeting. I have to believe that the facilities from which we insert the video stream into Channel 25 has to be somewhere in the village's possession. I don't really even know where that is. I believe it's a Directplex. I have to believe there's such a thing as a DVD player. And I believe that DVD player has a play button on it. It's pretty simple. Cost-wise, it can be essentially negligible. I appreciate that you're taking baby steps with this audio idea. Some people have cable, internet. Some people don't. Some people can watch Channel 25, other people can't. I'm not opposed to doing it both ways. Again, the cost is negligible. I'd be willing to do a trade with you. $20,000 a year property taxes, whichever one's lower. It was stated at the last meeting that the IT expense, the IT department actually manages Channel 25, and the cost of operating Channel 25, a third of it comes from the general levy, a third of it comes from the utilities, which are profitable entities, and a third of it comes from the Recplex, which should be in the black. So when I turn on Channel 25, I see a lot of Recplex coverage. I see a lot of utilities coverage. Let's face it, garbage, water, clean water, getting a lot of money for that. So 1/3 of the cost really is what the taxpayer would pay if there wasn't any cost at all. So I encourage you to accelerate this effort and actually get this on video. Again, we can provide you a DVD of every meeting. And it's not going to be YouTube quality. It's going to be digital video. The sound will be much better. And if we put a microphone in the right place instead of trying to record from the camcorder, it even be that much better. So, all these objections I think are gone. And if you don't want to do this, it's simply that you just don't want to do it. And I think the citizens deserve more. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak under citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
Babcock, 11253 Third Avenue. I did some research. I called Lake Forest TV and Time Warner. Lake Forest does do live video, which is more like Mr. Jankowski was talking about with the line from here to the Iceplex. You could do a webcast, and you could also broadcast it on 25 Live. The cheaper alternative is, like Mr. Tannybach said, a couple of cameras, just record the show, put it on DVD, and play it, a few times a day, or, whatever you decide. You could do that cheap. I assume you own cameras already, so I don't see where the cost is. Time Warner said there's no additional charge to run video. It doesn't matter what you run from, it's up to the clerk what she runs. So I don't see the cost being an issue. Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, I'll close citizens' comments, move on. Is there any response? Hearing none, the administrator's report.
Mr. President, with respect to, this relates to somewhat to the comments by Mr. Bragg. We'll be meeting with the rail commissioner this week to discuss the issues with, we'll be meeting with the rail commissioner and representatives from the Canadian Pacific. Talk about some of the issues they've had with diesel engines idling by the Westwood Mobile Home Park, as well as we can visit with about the issues as far as coal trains or any kind of train stoppage on the tracks. I do know there is a statute governing how long that they can be on there and to what extent they'll respond to a citation. So we'll see what we can do, and I guess the meeting you've arranged with the commissioner in that bureau will facilitate that for us. That's all I have.
Okay. That moves us on to item 6, new business. First item being item A, to receive the planning commission recommendation and consider ordinance number 07-51, approving a zoning map amendment to section 420-140E of the village zoning ordinance, and this is related to the use of existing non-conforming lots in the business districts. Jean?
Mr. President, members of the board, ordinance number 07-51 is an ordinance to amend section 420-140E, and this has to do with non-conforming lots in the business district. Specifically, the request you have before you is a modification that would allow for the reduction of the minimum width or the internal site circulation ways insofar that it does not allow the lot to be developed in compliance with the remaining ordinance requirements. Let me begin by saying what we have is a situation where we have existing non-conforming lots within a B2 district that are so narrow that it's very difficult to get everything on the lot that they need to get on the lot. The ordinance has a very detailed section that outlines, well, first let's look at reducing the size of the building. Then let's look at reducing possibly the number of parking spaces. Let's start looking at reducing the setbacks to the side setback or the rear setback. So there's a number of steps that the planning department will go through in order to make that a buildable lot because it's existing non-conforming. But one of the items that is not included within the ordinance at this time is what to do with the garbage dumpster or the recycling dumpster enclosures. At this time, the site and operational plan provisions require that they be attached